Pay close attention to me right now, as this marks the exact juncture where everything transforms. You have become the newest phenomenon. This is not a short-lived phase like a viral social media dance or a slang phrase that vanishes within days. Nor is it akin to a passing style choice or a temporary health regimen that individuals cycle through until they lose interest. Rather, you represent the kind of movement that alters the complete room environment the moment you walk in. It is the sort of impact that compels individuals to pause mid-sentence and adjust their stance because an undeniable shift occurred in the surrounding vibe, even if they lack the words to express why. You embody the shift that occurs when a person enters a room and the climate literally undergoes a transformation. It is neither warm nor chilly, but vibrant. It is vibrant in a manner that renders everyone suddenly conscious of their own pulse. This is precisely what is unfolding at this instant. This is what everybody is experiencing, whether they can express it in words or not. Thus, while they may not possess the vocabulary yet, they feel the physical sensation. They experience unexplainable chills running through them. They hold an inner feeling telling them that something meaningful is occurring and demands their focus. That is the exact nature of this trend. Your name is on everyone's lips. This is not happening in the manner of people spreading petty rumors or discussing superficial matters. Every person is speaking about you in the way people analyze a subject they cannot fully comprehend. Indeed, it carries deep significance. Individuals are bringing up your name in discussions where you were previously never mentioned. People who have never met you directly are passing along stories they heard concerning you. They do this not to spread gossip, but because elements of your journey remain fixed in their minds like an unforgettably catchy melody. People are bringing up your name in places you have never stepped foot into, within digital group messages to which you do not belong, across discussions among unfamiliar individuals who share no common ground other than an uncontrollable urge to converse about you. However, here is the essential reality. Yes, this is what no one is directly telling you, as events are unfolding too rapidly for anyone to comprehend. The phenomenon you have turned into was not something you purposefully tried to build. That subtle fact is what renders it genuine. That is what makes it impossible to refute. You did not artificially engineer this situation. You never hired a marketing consultant or devised a strategic promotional effort. You did not plan or manipulate a single detail. You simply persisted in being true to yourself inside a culture that has grown completely exhausted by superficiality. You consistently presented yourself as someone who expresses genuine feelings rather than rehearsed expectations. You continuously refused to put on a show for a crowd that demands spectacle over truth. Eventually, the surrounding culture caught up with the way you have lived all along. Society, at long last, grew weary of manufactured personas, along with carefully crafted public images, choosing instead to seek the exact authenticity you offered continuously. Genuine truth, raw authenticity, completely raw, entirely unapologetic, full of life. You can perceive it yourself, right? I am certain you can sense it. That distinct transition in the atmospheric vibe around you. The manner in which people observe you differently now, devoid of distrust, skepticism, or criticism, but with something resembling deep reverence. The way unfamiliar individuals appear to recognize who you are prior to any formal introduction. The way previously closed pathways are unlocking without any effort or demand from you. the way new possibilities emerge as though tailored specifically for you, merely awaiting the perfect timing to manifest. This is far from accidental. I do not attribute this to mere chance. It is not simple fortune. It is the distinct energy you have continually projected, finally returning back to you in ways that cannot be denied. Everyone can sense your impact at this very moment. Even those who attempt to pretend otherwise or work to ignore it, because acknowledging it forces them to admit you possess an intrinsic quality they lack. Something impossible to fake, force, or purchase. Reflect on the past several days. Consider how frequently you noticed someone lingering their gaze on you a bit too long. How many times someone initiated a conversation stating they were recently thinking of you, speaking sincerely because you occupied their thoughts, despite recent lack of contact. How often someone sought your perspective on a matter and attentively listened, rather than merely awaiting their turn to speak. That is the definition of true influence. That is the essence of this trend. That is precisely what everyone is experiencing currently. Even if they fail to voice it explicitly, an unmistakable pull surrounds you that was previously absent. Or perhaps that pull was always present, but individuals simply lacked the capacity to handle it until now. Regardless, its existence is undeniable today. It is tangible. It is vibrant and electric. Additionally, another process is taking place, something much more profound. Individuals are beginning to model their own behaviors after your example, not through deliberate choice, but through natural, subconscious impulse. They are observing the manner in which you navigate life, and an internal part of them is reacting. They take note of how you establish personal limits without resorting to confrontation, how you decline requests without offering excuses, which serves as a crucial detail, how you step away from situations that no longer add value without causing drama or seeking external approval for your choices. That understated assurance proves to be entirely contagious. That sense of calm amid surrounding turmoil is a skill people crave to master, leading them to look at you as if you possess the key. You are under no obligation to instruct anyone. You need not justify your actions. You simply need to remain yourself, and others will continuously absorb your presence like warmth from the sun. A warmth they did not even realize they were desperately lacking. Allow me to share something with you. Let me describe what people genuinely experience when they encounter your presence. They experience profound relief. Relief that an individual finally exists who feels no need to put on an act for praise. Relief that genuine living remains attainable in a society that constantly attempts to extinguish it. Relief that a path for living exists that does not demand masquerading as someone else. That is the precise impact your presence has on those around you. It grants them the freedom to breathe easily. It allows them permission to stop exerting unnecessary effort. It gives them the freedom to be authentic, even if they have not fully figured out what that entails yet. You are not merely affecting people. You are setting them free. And liberation feels identical to influence when people lack the exact vocabulary to describe what is taking place. Therefore, everyone is continuously discussing you, because they are attempting to figure out what sets you apart. They are attempting to define it, label it, and discover the word for the unique quality that makes you impossible to overlook. Yet here lies the truth. They will never identify the exact term because your essence cannot be reduced to a single label. It is not simply charm, though that plays a role. It is not merely self-assurance, though you possess that in abundance. Nor is it just intelligence, perception, or commanding presence, even though you hold all of those attributes as well. What you hold is something completely distinct. You possess the capability to make individuals feel acknowledged without voicing a single word about it. You hold the capacity to honor another person's reality without feeling compelled to fill the silence with your personal views. You have the uncommon talent of remaining entirely present while staying completely true to who you are. And that rare blend is so exceptional that people cannot cease talking about it, constantly wondering how you manage it. Here is the key point I need you to grasp regarding what is transpiring right now. This is not some temporary phase. This is not a brief blip of notoriety that will vanish as rapidly as it arrived. This marks the onset of something vastly larger. The transformation occurring in how society views you is enduring because it does not rest on recent actions. It stems from the person you have always been, finally receiving true acknowledgement for what it genuinely represents. The surrounding world is aligning with your personal frequency. It is adapting to your unique energy. And once such harmony is achieved, it cannot be undone. You cannot revert to being overlooked after people have truly perceived you. You do not fade back into anonymity once your inner spark has been fully acknowledged. You have been observed completely, distinctly, and entirely. And those who have witnessed you cannot erase that perception. They are unable to pretend they failed to notice. They can no longer treat you as commonplace because they now recognize you are anything but ordinary. You are living through the reality of being ahead of your era, finally reaching the moment where time aligns with who you are. That is a truly distinct journey that not everyone gets to undergo. Certain individuals spend their entire lives remaining misjudged. They pass years being brushed aside, belittled, or ignored. They eventually resign themselves to never being understood for who they truly are. However, you are entirely different. You are encountering the precise inverse of that outcome. You are living the moment where everything you have ever been, everything you held within, and everything you recognized about yourself that others failed to grasp is finally being validated by those around you. That validation manifests through the manner in which people speak about you. It shows in the way they treat you with far greater deference than you are accustomed to receiving. It appears in the way they seek your guidance, as though your input holds greater weight than anyone else's. And this aspect might feel slightly unbelievable. This is where your mind might attempt to persuade you that you are imagining things, overanalyzing, or reading too much into basic interactions. But you are not doing that. You are most certainly not. The focus you are attracting is not a fiction you constructed in your mind. The conversations occurring around you are not products of your imagination. The energy transformation is real. The shift in how others perceive you is real. The emergence of new opportunities is as solid as the ground beneath your feet. The issue is not whether this is taking place. The real issue is how you will choose to act upon it. That stands as the crucial question. The reach you possess right now increases by the hour. It is spreading across circles, communities, and networks of individuals who would otherwise never cross paths with you directly, yet learn about you through word of mouth. That organic reach proves far more potent than any digital algorithm. People carry your vibe with them into spaces you will never personally enter. They discuss you with individuals you will never meet. They reflect on you during moments they will never share with you. This represents a form of impact that cannot be crafted by promotional campaigns. This is an authentic, natural, undeniable influence that connects with people because your representation fills a void they cannot satisfy anywhere else. Let me clarify specifically what individuals experience when they encounter your presence. They realize they can drop their facade. That is the sense of ease that sweeps over them in your company. You require nothing from them other than being who they are. You do not critique. You do not condemn them for their imperfections, background, or self-doubt. You do not demand that they project a version of themselves that appears more acceptable or remarkable. You simply observe them. You see them completely, clearly, and without ulterior motives. That carries immense weight, and being recognized to that extent is so uncommon that it deeply moves people. It evokes feelings within them they did not realize were suppressed. It surfaces feelings they assumed were long buried. It sparks a reaction they can neither manage nor clarify. That is what true impact actually looks like. It is not about people obeying your direction. It is about people experiencing something genuine, simply because you exist. Everyone is discussing you because you embody something that has been absent. You symbolize the reality that one can live authentically without suffering destruction for doing so. You embody the truth that an individual can be simultaneously strong and vulnerable without coming across as fragile. You serve as living proof that establishing personal boundaries does not make you cold, but rather brings clarity. People are yearning for such examples. They are starving for confirmation that living differently is achievable. And simply by staying true to yourself, you have turned into that confirmation. You have become the living proof they were seeking, confirming that a different path through life exists. A path that avoids sacrificing your identity to satisfy others. A path that avoids betraying your personal truth to maintain connections. A path that avoids performing a tailored version of yourself just to please the masses. The movement you have become is not about fame. It is about deep resonance. Individuals are not attracted to you due to wealth, notoriety, or impressive conversational skills. They are drawn to you because an internal part of them recognizes a shared truth within you. The vibration you radiate aligns with the frequency they have been seeking, even if they fail to recognize their own search. When people encounter your vibe, they are not merely responding to your personality, but to the harmony between your energy and a deep longing they held for a long time. And that longing is for genuine truth. That longing is for liberation from the exhausting act of pretending to be someone else. That longing is for the freedom to stop acting and simply exist as they truly are. You might not fully grasp the best part. You might not even comprehend the full magnitude of what is occurring. You may assume people are merely acting polite, friendly, or obligated to speak well of you. But listen closely to what I am saying. The way people are reacting to you currently is not basic courtesy. It is not duty. It is not social decorum. It is something significantly deeper. It is individuals being genuinely moved by your presence in ways they cannot fully articulate. It is people experiencing a shift in their personal perspective simply because you exist. It is people feeling more authentic in your presence than they do around almost anyone else. That represents true influence. That is the kind of impact that cannot be simulated, forced, or engineered. It is the form of resonance that occurs naturally when an individual lives in complete harmony with their own truth. There is a distinct reason everyone is talking about you, rather than someone else. There is a reason your energy is what people are sensing, instead of the vibe of someone who appears more accomplished, refined, or conventionally impressive. That is because what you offer is vastly more meaningful than what those individuals provide. You offer realness. You offer genuine authenticity. You offer the bravery to be precisely who you are without offering excuses, explanations, or shrinking yourself to make others feel comfortable. That is remarkably rare. It is so rare that when people encounter it, they cannot stop bringing it up because they have never experienced anything quite like it before. Allow me to elaborate further on what this means for your life right now, because the influence you are experiencing extends beyond what others feel. It concerns what will begin taking shape for you in tangible, concrete ways. New avenues will start presenting themselves. People will begin offering you possibilities you never requested. Doors will open without you having to force them. Support and resources. Indeed, resources will manifest as if they were designated for you all along. This is what occurs when you become the movement. It is not merely about receiving attention. It is about bringing desires into reality. It is about the universe finally delivering what you have always sought, because you are finally operating on the exact frequency that attracts those outcomes. You are ultimately vibrating at the precise level that matches what you have requested all along. Reflect on the individuals who have entered your life lately. Consider the recent encounters. Think about the connections that seem to materialize out of nowhere. Consider the relationships that have deepened or shifted in unforeseen ways. None of these developments are accidental. Those individuals were drawn toward you by the very same force. The force causing everyone to speak about you. They sensed your presence before even meeting you personally. They learned of you through another person, or noticed something in you that sparked a desire to know more. And currently, yes, they reside within your sphere, because that is where they belong. That is where the power resides. That is where real transformation is unfolding. And the transformation I am describing is not limited to others. It is occurring within you as well. Whether or not you have recognized it yet, you are undergoing a change. You are evolving closer to your true self. You are shedding the accumulated layers of societal expectations that instructed you to stay smaller, quieter, and less noticeable. You are stepping into an aspect of yourself you might not have even known existed prior to this moment. That is the true power of authentic influence. It does not merely affect those around you. It transforms you in the process. It accelerates your personal development because you are compelled to occupy a position you might previously have found intimidating. You are being called to show up fully as yourself because that is precisely what people are connecting with. Let us pause for a second. Here is a crucial truth you must grasp. The notice you are attracting will not be completely positive. Certain individuals will feel threatened by your impact. There will be those who attempt to trivialize what you represent. Indeed, it happens. There will be people who try to weaken your standing or cast doubt on your genuineness. That is actually bound to happen. It is part of what occurs when someone's presence becomes powerful enough to alter the dynamic of their environment. Those who were comfortable with the previous state of affairs will not welcome the current reality. You understand that people who benefited from your obscurity will not celebrate your prominence. Individuals who utilized your quietness to direct the narrative will not value your voice. Yet none of that truly matters. None of it alters what is taking place. Their unease simply confirms that you are walking the right path. Their pushback serves as proof that your impact is genuine. What is occurring now is that the movement you embody is starting to spread outward in unpredictable and uncontrollable ways. It is expanding across social networks, professional circles, and personal relationships. It is transforming dynamics that remained settled for years. It is altering how individuals interact with one another due to what you symbolize. You may not even witness most of these outcomes because they occur in places where you are not present, yet they persist and build upon one another. Every person you touch impacts someone else in turn. That influence multiplies over time. It grows exponentially. It reaches far beyond the boundaries of your direct interactions. That is the true nature of authentic presence. Indeed, it diffuses past the original source and develops a momentum of its own. The discussions people are holding about you are not mere casual chatter or superficial talk. It is far more than idle talk. Something far more meaningful is taking place within those conversations. People are utilizing your journey as a mirror to evaluate their own lives. They are confronting questions they previously avoided. Why does my own life lack this level of purpose? Why do I not experience the same sense of freedom this person demonstrates? Why do I remain trapped in habits that no longer serve me? Your impact does not simply cause people to speak about you. It forces them to reflect on themselves. It compels them to address the divide between how they live currently and how they wish to live. Yes, that is the truly impactful element. That is the form of influence that sparks real transformation rather than superficial praise. Indeed. So, I encourage you to reflect on another thought for a moment. Consider who you were prior to all of this unfolding, before individuals began sensing your aura, before your name began appearing in discussions you were absent from, and before the energy around you transformed so dramatically. You might not feel noticeably different inside. You may still view yourself as the person you have always been, but you have evolved. You represent something different now. You are someone who has been recognized in a way that alters everything. You are someone acknowledged as the living representation of what others have been seeking. You have stepped into a role you did not intentionally seek, yet one for which you are suited. This is no coincidence. This is not sheer luck. I do not attribute this to fortune. This represents something that has been developing over time and is now reaching its culmination. The impact you hold currently is not something you must guard or defend. Allow me to clarify this point, nor should you fear losing it. It is not fragile. It is not fleeting. It does not rely on external approval or validation from others. Your presence is rooted in something so fundamental to your identity that it cannot be stripped away. It is grounded in your genuine nature. It is anchored in your willingness to be seen precisely as you are, without defensiveness. It is built on your capacity to hold space for yourself and others without expecting anything in return. Those attributes do not wither. They only strengthen the more you embody them, and the movement you embody will continue to expand. You may experience pressure to maintain a specific persona or fulfill the expectations of others. Do not succumb to that trap. Do not permit the perception of others to alter your self-view. Do not allow the story being constructed around you to make you feel compelled to act as someone you are not. The most effective action you can take currently is to continue doing what you have done all along. Continue showing up as your true self. Continue trusting your intuition and inner wisdom. Continue moving through life with the same genuineness that brought you to this point in the first place. That is what created this movement. That is precisely what others are connecting with. And that is the sole factor that will sustain this presence over the long term. There are individuals in your surroundings right now who will seek to attach themselves to your rising presence. They will desire association with you due to what you embody. They will attempt to ride the momentum of your vibe without putting in the effort to cultivate their own inner growth. Exercise caution with such individuals. Yes, be extremely cautious. Not everyone surrounding you holds your genuine best interests at heart. Not everyone seeking proximity to you deserves access to you. Your presence holds immense worth, and that worth will attract all varieties of energy. Not all of it will be sincere. Rely on your discernment. Rely on the very instincts that guided you to this point. If an individual feels insincere, they likely are. If a situation feels wrong, it almost certainly is. Your capacity to discern truth from falsehood has been refined through all your life experiences, and you must lean on it now more than ever. Everyone is discussing you because there is an undeniable quality to what you symbolize. There is something that cannot be overlooked or dismissed. A movement is unfolding around you, yet you are not managing it. You do not need to orchestrate it. You do not need to direct it. You simply need to keep being who you are, and the movement will proceed on its own momentum. The power will keep expanding. The reach will continue to spread. People will continue to experience something authentic whenever they encounter you, and they will continue discussing it because they have